This is Nightly Business Report with Tyler Matheson and Sue Herrera.
So with waste allegedly being a problem in Washington, should the government take a hardline approach to get things cleaned up? Tom Schatz is president of Citizens Against Government Waste, an advocacy group, and he joins us now to talk about that. Welcome. It's nice to have you here, Tom.
Thank you.
Obviously, from the name of your organization, you do think that there's some government waste that should be addressed. Let me start with Boeing, and then we'll broaden out the discussion. Specifically, Mr. Trump made his comments this morning. Your reaction to them?
He's basically talking about cost overruns on a lot of Pentagon spending and projects and weapon systems. For example, the Joint Strike Fighter is $160 billion over budget, 7 years behind schedule. Boeing's Pegasus is also over budget. And the Government Accountability Office issued a report in March of this year saying that the major defense acquisition programs, 79 of them, are $469 billion above the cost that was expected to be used at the time they went into production. So in other words, once they started to the time they're going to be completed, $469 billion. So could be $4 billion, could be $2 billion. Something's going to be overrun on the presidential plane, there's no question.
How much, as you look at the entire federal budget, Tom, would you say is represented in waste or duplicate functions or bureaucracy? How much of the roughly $4 trillion could you cut out if you really took a sharp knife to it?
Citizens Against Government Waste issues a prime cuts report every year. This year's report has 680 recommendations worth $644 billion in 1 year, $2.6 trillion over 5 years. There are reports all over the place. Government Accountability Office issues reports on duplication and overlap, tens of billions of dollars in duplicative and overlapping programs. All that information is there. An incoming president can take it and use it and get the department heads to look for a lot more waste, and they could certainly cut a fair amount of what we're now spending in Washington.
How much of it also comes down to the bidding process on some of these larger projects, I should say? Boeing is the only bidder, for instance, on Air Force One. However, some of these other contractors also are single bidders. Should that be changed? And do you think Donald Trump will advocate for that type of reform?
That's already being done. Senator McCain and Congressman Thornberry, the heads of the Senate and House Armed Services Committees, respectively, have in the Defense Authorization Act a number of proposals to change the way the Pentagon does business and cut some of this waste that the Defense Business Board has identified. About half of the contracts with the Pentagon are single bidders, and a lot of companies don't want to get involved because there is a lot of favoritism. SpaceX, for example, when they wanted to get into the launch business, had to sue the Pentagon just to get on the list, and that's helping to save money already.
All right, Tom, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Tom Schatz with Citizens Against Government Waste.